This is StarDuels, rebooking of Starcade 1985, originally billed as The Gathering. It was kind of like an answer to WrestleMania 2 where they did the simulcast from the different sites. Fucking horrible idea. This is no gathering. This is actually going to be in Atlanta, GA. Yeah, it's from the Omni. It's going to be a lot grittier. No bullshit. I'm actually calling this a cold day in hell, to borrow from an In Your House title. And yeah, the title makes sense. Anyway, our opener, you need the hot opener. These two guys, like, what else are they doing? So Talor versus Manny Fernandez. Talor wins. You know, you just have the quick opener. 10 minutes or so. But then we have Billy Jack Haynes versus the Barbarian. That would have this end in like a double count out. I wasn't actually a big fan of the roster at this time. Like, they had really good guys, but they didn't have enough to have like a 7-8 match card. They barely did. Speaking of that, our next one would be Jimmy Valiant and Superstar Billy Graham versus Ivan Koloff and Ole Anderson. They were already on the card originally in different matches, so why not? It works, I guess. Koloff pins Valiant. And then we have our first like friggin' big match of the night. Three-way elimination, three-way dance, I guess. For the NWA World's Tag Team Championships, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, champions, still champions from last year, versus the Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette. Double missile dropkick takes out the Midnight Express. The champions retain after hitting Ricky Morton with the spiked pile driver. Okay, before this, Tully Blanchard defeated Dusty Rhodes for the U.S. Heavyweight title 3 months after Dusty won it. Okay, this is the traditional, of course, the steel cage I Quit match between Tully Blanchard, the United States Heavyweight Champion, and Magnum TA. This is a thing of legend, you know. It's technically, well, this was Magnum's last Starcade match, so normally you'd want to kind of give the win to the guy that's going to stay around, but Tully doesn't need the U.S. title after this, so you give it to Magnum. Somebody else will win it later. Okay, now we get to the main event already, and it's got quite a bit of build-up. So basically, since Flair has won the heavyweight championship, he's become a true fighting champion. He's beaten almost everyone. His challenger Koloff has beaten all the other guys except for Flair too, and he's done it all in under 5 minutes. He's taken out like some pretty big names in under 5 minutes. He's a monster. He's basically a heel Taz. This is by far Flair's toughest challenge yet. Basically, Koloff confronts Flair when he's doing an interview, talking about something like, I don't know, the Cold War or something, using an analogy. So Koloff says, "Forget Cold War. I am real thing you need to fear." And that kind of like that's kind of where it starts. Koloff points to the championship around Flair's waist, and he gives you the kind of message like he's coming for it. Flair, in typical Nature Boy fashion, says, "Big man, you have no idea what war is until you face the Nature Boy." I know it's not great, but I got intensity. And you know, Flair hits his signature, "Woo!" Koloff responds by getting in the face of Flair. Huge brawl breaks out. Nikita gets through the security and hits the Russian sickle on Flair and injures his neck. All he says to Flair, he picks up the microphone and says, "Welcome to my nightmare." And he starts laughing, drops the microphone. Flair stretches it out. Now he's really, really strong. And this leads to the no-holds-barred match for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. Nature Boy Ric Flair, the champ, versus the challenger, the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff. Now, Koloff comes out to Welcome to My Nightmare by Alice Cooper because, I mean, it's a good fucking song and it makes perfect sense, The Russian Nightmare. Flair comes out to his familiar music, which gets the crowd pumped, obviously. They want to see the villain go down. This is just hard hitting, really stiff. Almost ends in the first 30 seconds when Koloff hits, I would say, a Sambo trip chokeslam move. So it's like an STO, like with the throat. It would look cool, trust me. Flair wisely rolls to the outside to get a breather. Koloff follows him to the outside, only for Flair to sucker him in. Show he's the dirtiest player in the game. Eye gouges, bites, chops, low blows, throwing him into the ring post. Anything he can do to even the score, because Koloff's just too much of a man to take on straight up without street fighting. So the big spot of this match would be Flair suplexing Koloff over the top rope onto a table. I mean, I think that would be pretty fucking incredible, especially back then. Koloff manages to recover, evades Flair, and he, out of nowhere, hits the Russian sickle. The crowd just goes like shocked. Just a and then Flair, and then Koloff goes for the pin. You get the 1, 2, Flair kicks out with authority. I wouldn't say he hulks up, but the passion's coming through, the fighting spirit. And soon after, Flair locks on the figure 4 leg lock, and he just keeps on until Koloff like starts to break and he taps out. Your winner and still NWA World Heavyweight Champion, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. You get that Flair closes it out with the championship. Everyone's going nuts. I didn't want to play too much on the Cold War stuff, even though it was like relevant. It was bullshit war, but still, yeah, you had to. Building the Russian is more of a monster than is a fucking gimmick where he's a whole nation. Is much better, much more effective. The fans would care more for it. The Cold War thing is cheesy. It would wear out. I'm glad I didn't go with that. I hope everyone enjoyed this. I know it wasn't the longest video, and it was a 6-match card, but you make up for... I want to do quality over quantity. Like, what's it matter if you have like 8, 9 matches if you've got some shit and filler in there, right? Anyway, this has been StarDuels, and I'll make another video soon. Not sure when this is going to be out, so...